Alright, in this video I'm gonna show you exactly how to target US audience on Instagram and Facebook. I've previously made this video on TikTok and I'm now showing you how to do the same thing optimized for Facebook and Instagram specifically. We can also just say Meta, as that's what they're both owned of. But currently I live in the Netherlands, and as you can see here, one of the statistics of one of the pages that I was running, most of my viewers are from the United States, and not even in the biggest top locations is my own country, the Netherlands. Now I will say it's not super hard to do this, but it is very specific, and actually Meta recently made it even harder to do this, so please do not skip any of the steps of this process that I'm gonna explain in this video. But let's just start with methods that just don't work anymore. They're either not targeting the US or they will get you shadow banned. First of all, using free and low quality VPNs. These IPs are often used by a lot of people, abused or blacklisted, and Meta will detect that and will either get you low reach like this, or will just not help you to reach your US audience anyways. Also, posting from your laptop and PC isn't necessarily a big problem, but this is not gonna work if you want to reach an audience that's not in your own country, right? Like I'm now from the Netherlands. There isn't a proper method to do this from a laptop. You would be doing that on your phone all the time. Also using bad scheduling apps. Many people upload using the Buffer app, Hootsuite, there are a lot of more. Yeah, they don't mimic natural mobile behavior. Instead, if you want to schedule, just use Meta Business Suite. That's the best one, also owned by Meta, right? Fourth, using third-party apps that aren't approved by Meta. Unfollow and tracking, auto DMs, things like that. I would say ManyChat would be okay, but I would prefer not using these at all. And they either get you not reaching the US or instantly reach zero, like I explained here. Okay, now let's get started with the first proper step, and that are the technical settings inside Instagram and Facebook. So for that, I will get my phone. Okay, now I'm on my phone and I'm on this fake account, but the first thing that you want to do is switch to a professional account. So simply what we can do is type in professional, and then it says add professional account right here. We want to click continue here again, and here just choose whatever fits you best. We could, for example, say artist. And I was gonna ask, are you a creator or a business? And many people would want to go with creator, but here you want to select business to optimize the best way to let Insta and Facebook think that you're from the US, because essentially that is what we're trying to do. We try to let the app think that we're in the United States. So select business, and then on the next page you'll see why, because here we can then fill in a business address. And what you want to do here is fill in a US business address. Now it's important to know that this doesn't have to be a real address. You can, for example, simply go to this website right here, fake name generator, and here it will show you an address in the US, which you can select right here. You can select a PO box or just an office building for your address right here. The only thing that matters is that it's based in the US. And then the next thing, which I also listed, is using a US phone number, which you can first of all fill in here for contact, but also for recovery. And if you're trying to target the US, you most likely don't have a US phone number. For that, I have another video on my channel, which I will link as well, which explains how to get a US Google Voice number from anywhere without living in the US. I'll leave that in the description down below as well. Or you can go with Vike. You can simply type in vike.app and then get a US phone number from there, which you can then put into this information right here on your screen, and then you can click next. Then you can decide to connect with Facebook in case you have a page that matches your Instagram. I don't have that, so I'll click on skip. Then you can set all of this, but I'm just gonna click X. And then we have the professional dashboard set up. Now the second reason why you would do this is you can go to professional dashboard right here. You can go to views, and obviously this is a dummy account, so I don't have anything, but you would be able to see your audience. So you would be able to track and actually confirm that this is working. Now these were just very small setups, right? There's nothing big to this. This is not gonna instantly change your reach and dramatically target the US. So we head over to the next step, and this is where it gets interesting, because you need a VPN, and not just a random VPN. You need a static US IP address, and this one will only be used by you and will always be the same. So normally what happens when you log in to Instagram or Facebook, first through IP1, then IP2, 3, 4, and they're always different, which Meta can see, and they're always detected as VPN. So this will either get you shadow banned, so no reach at all, or not reach the US at all as well. So that's not what we want. What we want is one static IP right here, which is explained right here. It's one IP address only used by you, and it's always turned on when posting. And as no one else is using this, Meta actually doesn't see that this is a VPN IP address. Basically, Meta, Instagram, Facebook thinks this is your house IP address. Now, the number one reason why Insta and Facebook accounts get shadow banned is because the IPs constantly change and this gets flagged. So I'm sorry to say it, if you want to do this the best way possible, free VPNs will not work. So then the next question obviously is how to set up a static US IP address. And there are a couple of services that provide this with this dedicated IP setup. And personally, I use NordVPN without any issues. I've used ExpressVPN, Surfshark. Surfshark's even more expensive and it still got flagged. So I would simply recommend NordVPN. I will leave a link down below in the comments or in the description down as well. And when using this link, you get 4 months for free included as well. So what you want to do is click get a deal, and then you can simply choose the cheapest plan. And then right here, it's important for the extra service to add the dedicated IP address, as that is what we need. Then once you're in your NordVPN account, you can go to NordVPN and click on dedicated IP address right here. And then from here, we can select our address, right? So there are a couple options. You obviously want to choose one in the US. So we could choose Chicago, Dallas, New York, or Miami, which is what I went with. So then you click on Miami, and then you will see this service NordVPN dedicated IP. You have this IP address only for yourself in the United States, Miami, and you get this code right here, which is your server code. Then next up, you want to download NordVPN on your phone. Make sure that it's installed on your iPhone or Android device. Then open up NordVPN and then search for the same code as you just created the dedicated IP. So simply typing hashtag 10297 and then connect to this. And then this is the IP address that's only used by you. As you can see on my phone, I have it as well, United States with my dedicated IP setup, which you can now access the internet from. Then the next step is kind of optional, but it's just to be more sure and have a better guarantee to actually reach US audience. And that is by ordering a US SIM card and putting it in your phone. The SIM card doesn't have to work. It can be a travel SIM card. For that, I will leave an Amazon link down in the description below as well. And again, SIM card can be deactivated and doesn't need to be active. Don't use this phone number for anything. Just leave the SIM card in there and just leave it. Don't do anything with it. And my SIM card in this phone has been ordered 2 years ago, already disabled for 2 years, and it still works, as you're basically tricking your phone into thinking you're from the US. Same with Facebook and Instagram, and it also works with things like YouTube and TikTok. Then we go into the next big step, which is kind of like no shit Sherlock, posting, scheduling, and the content setup. So first of all, upload US targeted content. And this might seem obvious to some people, but if I upload something like this with, I think this is the president of India, with text in Hindi, it's not English, there's no interest for Americans, and it's not relatable for Americans. So this won't get reach into the US, even though you've done all of this before, right? Same thing with the next one. This is in English, but it's about Ghana citizens no longer need a visa to enter Morocco. It's not really interesting for Americans, and it's also not relatable. And then we have this one as well, Wall Street memes. And even though this is quite niche, it is in English. There's an interest for Americans, as Wall Street is in New York, I believe. So it is listed for Americans, and it's relatable as well. So even though this person might not live in the US, he's done this setup properly, he will have mostly US audience probably. So basically your niche is super important, and to find trends that are popular in the United States, you can always use Google Trends. Inside Google Trends, you can see what the United States is searching for right now. For example, I can click on Explore, make sure it's set to the United States right here. For example, I can change this to the past 7 days. And then when we scroll down, we can see that here are related queries about what is popular right now around this guy. I don't even know what it is, but Google tells me that. I can also switch to trending now, and it's basically, as it says, it's gonna show us things that are trending. But yeah, set the location to US, New York election results, George Niang, Home for Monks, all these things are getting popular in the US, so you could decide to make content about this. Okay, now for a last confirmation, let's just run a post together. So let's make a correct post. I will open Instagram, and then first of all, let's make sure that it has an interest for Americans. So I found this by Elon Musk. Don't take this too serious. It's just placeholder images right here. Then we go to next. And then what we could do here, we could choose a song that is popular in the US. So for example, Fancy by Drake, that would already help. So I will select that. Obviously, you can also leave this blank, but don't choose something Russian, Indian, Pakistani. That doesn't speak to them. Then you want to put your caption in English. Don't put this in any other language. Always in English, and don't rely on the auto translate feature. Then what we can do, we can add a location. This can be a pretty big game changer, as we can, for example, set this to New York. And if we do this consistently and always set US locations right here on our post, that also tells Meta that we are from the US basically, or at least trying to target the US. Then another small thing is write in American English, so use American style English, not British, and add hashtags targeted for the US. This could, for example, be a hashtag New York, hashtag LA, simple hashtags that are popular in the US. Then, also very important, you want to choose the right posting time. For example, 10 a.m. in India is in the middle of the night in the United States. That's not right, that's not correct. So manual posting would be the best, but if you live, for example, in New Zealand, probably you gotta stay up very late to post in right times in the US. For that, you can choose schedulers to schedule your post the right time. For that, again, don't use cheap tools like Buffer. Use the Meta Business Suite. So inside the Meta Business Suite, simply what you can do, you can go to Planner right here. And then from here, every day you can post something. For example, I could say create post right here. I can also do a story or a reel. So I can say post. Then I can decide it to choose Facebook, which is only linked to this account. But if you have your Instagram account linked to your page, you can also schedule on Instagram from here. And from here, select your media, add your description right here. And then here we can schedule. So we can set a date and time. For example, I want this to be uploaded on Monday the 30th. And I can change the time zone right here, US based, so US optimized. For example, I could choose 2 p.m. Miami time, which would be 8 p.m. for me here in the Netherlands. Then when we go back, there's one next thing. You could always decide to run Facebook ads. I don't want to go too deep into this part because it's probably not what you're looking for and kind of like a haha, that's obvious moment. But in case you want that, you can start a Facebook ad account and you can create an ad right here and basically go to this process and then select the US as your target, and that will increase your US reach obviously, but it's probably not what you're looking for. What could be very beneficial though is collaborating with US pages or influencers, because if you decide to do all of this, get VPN set up, the SIM card, and set it up for success to reach the US, this could give you a kickstart. So you could get a story promotion of someone you know has a lot of reach in the US, or a post promotion, again with someone you know has a lot of US audience, that could help to kickstart your reach. So that is essentially it. There doesn't come more to it specifically to do it better than this. Obviously, I showed Instagram as the main example right here on my phone as well. On Facebook, that would be almost the same. So in case this worked for you, please let me know in the comments. If you have any questions or it doesn't work for you or you need my help, also leave your questions down below in the comments. With all of that being said, have an amazing rest of your day and see you next time. Bye.